Hello everybody, it's Douglas Block. Sorry I'm a little late. I was doing some editing on my book and now I have to go ahead and figure out how to get the chat going. So give me just a second here. And oh yeah, hi everybody, how are you guys doing? Nice to see you on this beautiful Sunday. It's August 4th and I have some great news for you. 51 years ago today, I was sailing around the San Francisco Bay. I was 19 years old. I was at Stanford University and I met this really cool guy who owned a boat and I sailed around San Francisco with him. Come on, Doug, don't slur your words. Slow your words. Whew, that's what happens when you don't get a good night's sleep. Hey, Camel King, nice to see you. Lagai, shootings are crazy, horrible. Thank God it's not us. Yeah, I agree. Oh, it's a horrible thing that's going on. Yeah, just terrible. Hello, Ravi Shankar, Andrea, Jason, Beth D, Chom Choms, Jason. Nice to see you all. Mobius Zero, Lagai, yes. Sama Azmal, I haven't heard of you before. Florida Oro, of course. Flower of Gold. Yes. Okay, all got the same commercials. Yeah, different commercials for different people. Well, welcome to your 125th live chat. Boy, that's a lot of work I've been doing. Today is August 4th, 2019. As I said, 51 years ago, I was sailing around the bay. Who cares, right? In the meantime, my last video on anti-inflammatory diet has really gotten a lot of press. Speaking of which, there's a wonderful series, a docu-series going on right now on the internet called Rising from the Depths of Diabetes and Obesity, and about a guy who was obese and cured himself of type 2 diabetes through diet and exercise alone. Some of the people interviewed are people I know, people I've seen, Dr. Furman, Dr. Greger. I highly recommend you watch this. It's free. It's called Rising from the Depths of Diabetes and Obesity, and highly recommend that you watch this series online. Liz Life Guru, you've been away for a while. Mobius Zero, nobody's being kicked out of the country, so please. Yes, well, I'm sorry that there's a lot of negativity about minorities, but that's always been the case. Humans are, when they see people who are not like them, it's sort of like the immune system kicking out foreign, bodies. It's something wired into the DNA, but in civilization, through education and love, we can overcome that tendency. Simsums, I'm feeling down normally. I don't know why, but I don't know even if I could turn back time, that would normally fix it, but this time, even that wouldn't. Well, you don't know yet. Simsums says, go ahead, live your day, and thank you for Taco Platter. I didn't even have to ask for a donation this time. You stepped right up to the plate, and you've done it before. Thank you, my friend. In case you don't have this wonderful Healing from Depression and Anxiety self-care activities, I will send it to you, and I will also send you a free ebook of my memoir, When Going Through Hell. Don't stop. Just email me, douglasblock@gmail.com here, and then you can. I'll send it to you. I don't have my joke book. Oh well. One thing I forgot. Well, you guys will have to come up with some bad jokes for me, huh? Okay, minutes of my life. Angela, I wish a real picture of depression would get shown. Well, what do you mean by a real picture of depression? Jason, 10 pounds, all right. Prosperity is just around the corner, as Herbert Hoover used to say. Thank you so much. Lagai, thank you again. Wow. Lynn, hey, Doug, I'm scared to seek help for my depression. I think I need to go to the hospital. I'm very scared. Well, I'm scared to go to the hospital first. So do you have a doctor? Do you have somebody you see, a psychiatrist? You should decide with them whether you want to go in the hospital. Or if you're really feeling unsafe, go to the emergency room. So if you're just feeling horrible, you may or may not go to the hospital. But if you are feeling unsafe, that you could harm yourself, you should show up at the ER. You're late, Anthony Olson? Only 5 minutes. I was 2 minutes late. Yes, people say who have everything even say they feel down, so there's no way avoiding that feeling. Yes, people can suffer whether you're rich or poor, young or old, black or white. Suffering is a universal human condition. You're absolutely right. But then the question is, how do we cope with it? What do we do? I keep hearing about me having some kind of intrusive thoughts called scrupulosity. Can you explain? I'm not quite sure, but when you're scrupulous, you go ahead and you're very conscientious and you review something over and over again. So maybe that's another word for intrusive thoughts. I've never heard that word used to describe intrusive thoughts, but there are ways to cope with them. Oh, Liz Life Guru says she just posted her interview on ketamine and depression. You know, Liz, I did 3 videos on it, and I'm sorry to say that I have not seen very good results in the field. Maybe you're a therapist, maybe you're different, but boy, a lot of my coaching clients and group members who have tried it have not gotten very far. So it showed a lot of promise, but I haven't seen it myself. Hey, Abdullah. Hi, Jason. Camel, king of the Mediterranean. So, see, I'm really thankful about your video focusing on rumination. I learned how to treat my OCPD. So I'm a therapy, but I may ask you for some advice. Well, you can. I don't know how helpful I'll be, but I love your name, Camel, king of the Mediterranean Sea. That's a mouthful. Jason Cardenas, haven't heard from you in a while. There are intrusive thoughts about religion, blasphemy. Your mind makes you think. Is that what scrupulosity means? Well, thank you for explaining. Anyone have a great sleep but still feel tired the next day? Maybe I exercise too hard physically. That can be the case, absolutely. Jason, your mind makes you think you sold your soul, and everything you do, your mind is making you think of sinning. Is that called religious OCD? It sounds like it. Anyway, Abdullah Matasif, nice to see you again. Anyway, there are lots of ways to treat or deal with religious OCD. And again, I would seek your psychologist or doctor, or there are some medications that you can check out. One of them is Luvox. Ask your doctor about it. I'm eating. I have some sad news. A young man who was going to turn 31 this month, who I've been mentoring since since the time he's been 19, apparently died of an overdose of an opioid last night. And Robert Kennedy's granddaughter died of an opioid overdose a couple of days ago. Boy, it's a problem here in America, isn't it? 65,000 deaths a year. It's sad in a country that has so much. So many people feel so empty they have to use those chemicals. Lynn, don't be scared. It may be uncomfortable and weird at times in the ward, but you're there for yourself. Yes, it's very scary to go to a psych ward, but you are safe there if you need to be safe. Simsums, can I take off work for CBT without my employer finding out why? I guess so. You could just say you have a family emergency or something like that. Talk with your therapist. All right. Kelly Bean, hello everyone. Anyone ever tried 5-HTP? It has worsened my depression. Not sure why. Well, everybody has different responses to different chemicals. Fabian Summer. Wow, Costa Rica. What beautiful climate. What beautiful people. You're very lucky to be there. Michael Stageman, Michelle Stageman, nice to see you. Doug, if I'm correct, you're on lithium, right? Nope. I was on lithium. I'm on something very similar called lamotrigine or Lamictal, a mood stabilizer. It does work for you for suicidal ideation. Very nice. Lithium has been around since 1949 for the treatment of manic depression, but it also helps with mood. Yes, opiates are horrible, aren't they? And I don't know why people get into them so much. I remember one time I came back from having a root canal, and the dentist gave me something called Percocet for pain. And one of my friends said, "Oh my God, Percocet! I would kill for Percocet. Oh my God, please give me some." I said, What's the big deal? I took some for my pain. It just made me constipated and drowsy. So I don't know how anybody can get off on that medication, but evidently Vicodin, Percocet, some people just love it. So again, fortunately, I do not have the brain chemistry to get addicted to opioids. Thank goodness I have enough problems with mental illness. By any chance, does psychotherapy work, Douglas? Well, if it doesn't work, there's about 2 million charlatans all over the world. No, I think psychotherapy has been a wonderful discovery of Freud and everybody that came after him. You remember what Socrates said back in Greece, the unexamined life is not worth living. Again, he said it, the unexamined life is not worth living. He said this also. I went to my goddaughter's wedding 2 weeks ago, and I said, by all means marry, Amy. If it's a good marriage, you'll be happy. If it's a bad marriage, you'll become a philosopher. That was from Socrates. Anybody heard that joke? Yes, Jason, if you feel like you need psychotherapy, you should definitely go. It can be really, really helpful with depression and anxiety. How do I deal with health anxiety, Doug? Well, guess what? I'm going to publish a video on it. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'm going to do it next Monday. It's tough, but if you type in health anxiety on the internet, on YouTube, you'll see a lot of good information. Essentially, you just got to tell yourself that you're fine, you're well, and dispute the thoughts that are telling you that you have some sort of rare disease. You have to challenge those negative thoughts. Yeah, no, it's very sad what's happening, and I think, well, I'm not going to get political, but I think the administration is fueling the fire of this, you know, of this hatred going on, or at least manifesting. Now, what I need advice for, can I stop feeling shame for my past suicidal behavior? I constantly regret not having loved myself enough in the past. Well, you are blaming yourself, and I have a video that I want you to watch, Camel King of the Mediterranean Sea. It's called, two of them. One is called Forgive Yourself. Now, I'm not saying anything new here, but I think it would be a really good video for you to watch because you were doing the best you could at the time with the awareness you had. So self-forgiveness is really a powerful tool for healing. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing I'd recommend. And then the other video I did, by the way, thank you, the three of you who made contributions to this channel. Really appreciate. It's called Be Kind to Yourself. So if you watch those two videos from the Mediterranean Sea, you will, I think, it'll help yourself from your previous state of not being able to love yourself enough. Simpsons, money can buy happiness. If I was rich, I could buy a house, go on holiday, and get the best therapy in the world. Well, you'd be better off, but it wouldn't guarantee happiness. You're still going to die. You still can get sick. You can still have loss. Nobody escapes suffering. That's what the Buddha said, life is suffering. But I agree, it's better to have more money than less. Blame and guilt are symptoms of depression. Yes, they are. So that's why I recommend forgive yourself for your mistakes and be kind to yourself. Yeah, Camel King, you really like those videos, I promise you. Is it normal for a person with BPD, is that borderline personality disorder? If it is, Stephen Dennett, yes. Low self-esteem, negative self-esteem, depression, and BPD, and also bipolar disorder, if that's what that refers to, yes. Unfortunately, we can be our own worst enemies. But again, love your neighbor as yourself. You're a beautiful being. There's no one like you. Just say, tell yourself what a wonderful person you are. Cognitive behavioral therapy does work, absolutely. Andrea, I'm due to have an endoscopy soon. I'm feeling panicky. That's your health anxiety. Usually, colon cancer is extremely rare. I don't know how old you are, but it's usually in older people. So just have it done as a good preventive measure and just tell yourself, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. No wisdom over money. Educate yourself on depression. Support systems are extremely important. Simpsons, thank you for your comments about my response about money. Liz Life Guru, health anxiety is the same as all anxiety. It's just manifest in fear that you have an illness. So look at it as a fear like any other. It's irrational. Couldn't agree with you more, Liz Life Guru. CBT does amazing things for me. That's why I've been able to return to work. So Taco Platter, which I love your name, why don't you explain to the other people here what CBT is? Oh, Martin W. Marin W. Nice work, Marin W. I have a video called I'd Rather Be Depressed Walking Around Than Lying in Bed Doing Nothing. Good for you for being a trooper. Good for you for hanging in there. You know, people with depression are not weaklings. They're stronger than the average person. Only a strong person can bear the pain we've bared and keep on, you know, living anyway. So we are very special people, those of us who suffer from depression and anxiety, because we have to be strong to cope with the pain that we feel. Yeah, don't worry about the typo, Jason. Her name is Marin, a beautiful name. I know a Marin right here down the street. Taco Platter says CBT helped me train and flip negative thoughts into positive and train me to stop ruminating. Well, that's exactly what CBT does. So you've hit the bullseye, Taco Platter. Maybe you should teach your friends about it. Barbara Hibbard, nice to hear from you. What makes anxiety about a colonoscopy is the prep hours in the bathroom. Yeah, it's a big pain in the ass. Oh, by the way, that was a horrible pun, wasn't it? Huh. Any other puns out there? Let's hear a pun. Why did the witch not wear a flat hat? There was no point in it. Klaus Rebel. Sounds like you might be from Germany. Nothing is worth doing. What do I do to get out of that thought? Well, find something you like to do. Eat a bowl of ice cream. I know. Find something that gives you pleasure. Yeah, that thought of yours is just an aspect of your depression. There's a shining light in all of us. Beautiful, Jason. What a wonderful thought. Keep strong. That was a great pun. Yes, it was unintentional. By the way, there's been a lot of tax cuts here in America, and companies are really prospering. Especially the private jet industry is really taking off. Come on, Doug, you didn't really say that, did you? I made that one up, by the way. King Tut, you've seen his tomb. He was arrested for being in a pyramid scheme. I made that up also. What's the most effective antidepressant in your opinion? I'm going to write it out here. Here's the most effective antidepressant I've ever seen. Hold your breath now. The answer is the one that works. Why? One man's meat is another man's poison. One man's calmness is another man's agitation. One man's happiness is another man's nightmare. In other words, different antidepressants have different effects on different people. It is trial and error, boys and girls. Why live if suffering is inevitable? Because I should say pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Because there's also a lot of joy in life. There's also a lot of wonderful things, not just the pain. That's why life is worth living. All right, the Tate London. That sounds like a museum, RCB. So that was an answer to our Arcade Cup. Nice to see you from Green Bay. Oh, well, Arcade Cup, what about the Louvre in Paris? What about the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City? What about the Chicago Art Museum? Oh my God, there are so many wonderful museums with good paintings. A number in America and tons of them in Europe. So, two guys go get caught drinking battery acid. The police have charged them. That's really horrible. How about this? I'm addicted to drinking braking fluid. I can stop at any time. Another bad pun. All right. So, what do you like about my answer about the most effective antidepressants? I hope I answered your question, Sheldon Cooper. Douglas, if you can answer what made you depressed, loss of love, breakups with women I cared about, that's what made me depressed. That's my big Achilles heel. One man's junk is another man's golf. Not quite sure what that means. Suffering is optional. Pain is necessary. And you know, this wonderful guy from the Mideast said, aging is necessary. Feeling old is optional. Or getting old is necessary. Or getting old is inevitable. Feeling old is optional. Let's try it again. Getting old is inevitable. I just turned 70. Feeling old is optional. I feel like a 25-year-old young adult. You're only as young as you feel. All right. Liz Life Guru. CBT will help you change the way you think about your thoughts. Additionally, we can't put the healthy, good stuff in when we're filled with black sadness. That makes good sense. Chicago will work. Would love to see the Paris one. Mona Lisa. Carlos Enrique Java. Sleeping too much can affect you as much as sleeping too little. Absolutely. One of the symptoms of depression is hypersomnia, meaning too much sleep. Well, we're 1/3 of the way through this. We've already had 3 very generous donations. I'd like to get up to $40. I think we've got about 30 or 20. So feel free. All right. Liz Life Guru says, talk therapy will take the life out of your past thoughts and trauma. Good point. Liz Life Guru is a therapist. Liz, Arcade Cub, it's actually the Chicago Art Institute is the name of the museum you want to go to. Flordo, Liz Life Guru, is there a book you recommend? Of course there is. I'm going to take the words right out of her mouth. Liz Life Guru certainly recommends this book. Healing from Depression, 12 Weeks to a Better Mood, right here. A guy by Douglas Block wrote this. I can swear by it. I know it's a good book. I know him personally. Highly recommended. Knows everything about depression you ever want to know is in that book. All right. Hey, Lazy Eye Ranch. Nice to see you, as always. I haven't found any antidepressants that didn't make me worse. I'm depressed because I'm overwhelmed with problems. I'm alone. The news doesn't help. 250 mass shootings this year. Yeah, we can't really focus on that. It'll drive us crazy. We have to focus on things that bring life and happiness. And we also have to take action politically if we think we need to change something. But we can't only focus on the suffering. If you're going through hell, keep going, Sir Winston Churchill. Yes, and if you're going through hell, don't stop, Sir Douglas Block. Okay, I've been promoting my books. I'm sorry. I can do a little of that. It's going to be 94 degrees in Portland. I'm already getting really hot. It's only 12:22 here. Supreme Sufi, $1.99 to every cent helps. Thank you. I love your name. Thank you for what you do, Dr. Block. You're a blessing. Well, I'm not a doctor, but thank you. Supreme Sufi, do you live in America or do you live in some other country? My CBD helps with my thoughts, but my body has a mind of its own. Is that a pun? I think it is. Brandon Tempest. Listen, boys and girls, pain is going to happen, but it's how you react which will determine the path you go down. Well, boys and girls, Brandon Tempest is absolutely correct. In the concentration camps, the great psychiatrist, Viktor Frankl said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, how he will respond or how you will respond in a given situation. The real freedom is the freedom to choose your own way, to choose your own thoughts, to change the way you will respond. Exactly what Brandon Tempest said. And there's a wonderful therapy called logotherapy that came out of his book. I recommend to anybody, Man's Search for Meaning. Again, those of you who have problems with overweight or diabetes, there's a wonderful online series on right now called Rising from the Depths of Diabetes and Obesity. It says that type 2 diabetes is reversible and treatable with diet and exercise alone. Pascal's Triangle. I love Pascal's Triangle. What about it? Need an arc? Noah guy. Oh my God. That's very funny. RCB says, we're here from you, Lazy Eye Ranch. I'm going to actually copy and paste that. It took me a while to get a hold of that because I know Noah from Big No No, but that's very funny. Okay. Okay, what else have we got up here? Never give up on yourself. Thank you, Jason. Jason says, hi, Lazy Eye Ranch. Hi, Suzanne. Our past can control our life and has a life of its own. I do, Douglas. I do what? I'm not quite sure, but you know, we both already been married, so. Taco Platter, strange question. Any meds that prevent you from going to pee at night? Yes, there are. You need to go to a urologist to find them. They shut down that organism, and if you think it's a really, that mechanism I meant, and if you think it's a big problem, go see a urologist. For the you found something that's funny. I'm glad you did. Camel King of the Mediterranean Sea. Why do you think do some people blame others for being depressed, mentally sick? My father often felt shame for me being depressed. I had to go through therapy in secret. Well, your father probably felt shame about you because he felt shame about himself because he was brought up with the lie that people who are depression are weak or not manly. So people's conditioning can get them in trouble. You're in Detroit, Michigan. Well, guess what, Supreme Sufi? Liz Life Guru is on Detroit podcast. You're both in Michigan. You should check each other out. Become allies. I know you like math. Oh, Doug, yeah, Cartesian numbers. Excellent. Well, of course. Pascal's triangle. Can't beat it with a stick. Lagai, shame is such a hard emotion to deal with. It's usually self-shame about self, not about others. Yes. Guilt says I made a mistake. Shame says I am a mistake. Anyway, anybody got some good jokes here? God, I wanted to be a plumber, but it was just a pipe dream. That's from one of you guys. I know that dinosaurs were around for 65 million years, but they had to pay their bills. What do dinosaurs use to pay their bills? Well, it's very simple. Tyrannosaurus checks. All right. Have you heard the latest news about butter? Actually, I better not spread it. I like it. It's horrible. It's a dad joke. I'm going to cut and paste it. Thanks. All my videos are going to have these really bad jokes thanks to you guys. All right, so I am on camera. I need to go ahead and go here. I need to go ahead and go here. How do you get a cow with 2 legs? Learn beef. Don't understand it. Aside from being shame-based and fear holds me down. Well, the guy, going to see a good therapist, or better yet, going to a 12-step group. Groups are very good about healing shame because other people's eyes are on you and they love and accept you just the way you are. There's something about having other people's eyes upon you with unconditional love that can heal shame. So you might want to go to a 12-step group or just a support group or group therapy. Okay. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. I've heard that. How do you decide which kind of orientation method or therapy should go? You just try one out. It's really about your relationship with the person more than the type of therapy they use. That's going to be the big healing factor. Research has shown that. All right. James D. Liz Life Grow, can you recommend a CBT book? There's a book called Feeling Good. It's the classic. It's the first real book on CBT. Yes. Feeling Good by David Burns is a really good book on CBT. The person who asked. Okay, so lean beef. Now I understand what you're saying. Going to review and write what Douglas says. Great quotes. I don't know what quotes I had, but James, best with a therapist, try psychology to find one. Very good, Liz Life Guru, yes. Camel King, joke. The camel talks about how weird other animals are, but it does not see its bizarre long neck. Moral of the story, question yourself before questioning others. Well, there you have it. Thank you. All right. Yes, Moby Zero, going to watch airplane videos, very good. When you're feeling like you're really having a hard time with your thoughts and your negative thinking and you can't get out of it, distraction, distraction, distraction. Go look at an airplane video. Go take a walk. Go watch something on YouTube. Go watch a comedy. Go watch a movie. Take a jog around the block. Just take your mind off the thing you're obsessing about. It's called distraction. You donated and you never got a copy? Well, I get so many emails. Florida Earl, why don't you put your email address right here? It was probably buried. Of course, I'll send you a copy. I don't know if it was my ebook or it was the chart. Let me know and just give me your email address or just send me again. I'll check my email as soon as I get off. I wasn't trying to ignore you. It's just really, really hard for me to keep track of all my mail. What did I do 51 years ago? I was at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California, the South San Francisco Bay, and I met a guy who took me in a sailboat. We sailed all around San Francisco. It was one of the happiest days of my life. Can you play chess, Doug? Yes, I used to be a tournament player. My high school team won the championship on Long Island. I don't play it anymore. I just do chess problems. Florida Olo, remember to let me know what your email address is. What's the best thing for boredom? Anything that gets you enthusiastic or interested. Do you think taking antidepressants on a low dose for many years can harm your health? Well, I don't know. Nobody really knows. All I know is if you need it for your mental sanity, the cost will probably outweigh the benefits unless you're having really bad side effects. Talk about it with your doctor. Stay brave, the world is improving, I promise. Well, thank you. I like to see an optimist. What's the best attitude? They're the ones with the problem. You're fine. Yes, I didn't see Rosie Bengal's comment. I'm going to have to go look for it now. I'm LGBT, so I can be on receiving end of hate. A lot of times when I get suicidal thoughts, this I beat them by saying, I'm going to stay alive just out of sheer spite. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm sorry there's all this prejudice about people who are different. It beats me, but there's a lot of people who are very open-minded and very caring. And there's a lot of people in your community who are awesome. And I know you've got, there's something called the Trevor Project. For LGBT youth. You probably have heard of these. Trevor Project. I'll give you another one. And the Tyler Foundation. They're both very good. All right. They're both very good for the LGBT community. He's eating pie. What are you eating? I'm eating pie. That was a joke. Lentil vegetable soup I made for myself. Vegetables are the best thing you can eat. Fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds. They have fiber. They have micronutrients, phytochemicals. Okay to eat meat and dairy at some time, but the fruits and vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds should be the majority of your diet. So Stephen, you just went ahead and put your email address on. Was I supposed to send you something? Can I have some soup? Yeah, just fly over here. Girls, the only thing make me depressed. Well, join many people. Romance, that's tough. Hey, Jürgen Hansen, hi. With that slash in your O, you're probably from Sweden or somewhere in the, what do you call it? Scandinavia. Hey, Joan? Could you turn the fan on? I am super getting hot. I should have done it. Do you mind turning the fan on me? It is really warm in here.
Oh, the fan, yes, here.
Oh. All right. There's something for everybody. Be patient, Lagai. Yeah, that's true. I gave Rosie Bangle those two organizations, the Tyler Clementi Foundation and the Trevor Project. You should definitely connect with them to get LGBT support. I try to distract myself in the past with hobbies, but my mind prevents me to enjoy stuff I usually enjoy. Yeah, you should try the hobby and keep doing it, and it should take your mind off your depression. If not, go to a therapist, get some mental techniques. You might even need some medication. What's a ghost? It's not favorite soup, it's favorite dish. Goulash, I like that. Try walking or bike riding. Yes, exercise will definitely help with negative or obsessive thoughts. Or all you're thinking about is your next breath. 35 minutes, 58 viewers. Thank you for joining us. I hope we can have a few more super chat donations the second half of this broadcast. Always glad to. You've not heard of these, Doug? Go online, Rosie Bangle. They're both in America, but you can still join them online. And there must be some LBGT groups in Great Britain. Gotta be. But check them out online. All right. Hey, Liz Life Guru says hello to Joan. All right, let's look at some other comments here. Messing up with my crush so badly she ignores me now. Well, sorry about that. Do the best you can, Sim Songs. Maybe getting into some counseling or therapy could help. You scored a 7 on the WHO, 5 test, don't know what that is. Anthony Olson, nice to hear from you as always. Rosie Bangle, also there's an atheist organization in your area. They're the most wonderful, supportive, and welcome people I've ever met in my life. Well, there you have it. My mother and father were atheists. They were nice people. Arranging for insomnia doesn't involve spending money on it? Yes, just count backwards is what I do, from 100 to 1, and imagine sheep jumping over a stream or a fence, or deep breathing, or go to the internet and get this ocean music. So much you can do for insomnia that doesn't cost money. Do I read philosophy? Not traditional philosophy like Kant and Hegel, but the road less traveled, a lot of psychology grew out of philosophy, so I read a lot of psychology. Yes, or email me again, or just go ahead and post your email right here. I'm sorry there's so much prejudice in the UK, Rosie Bangle. I'm sorry. People of color, people who have a different, sexual orientation, religious people, Catholics, Jews, Protestants, Muslims, you name it. There's been discrimination all through humanity's history. I'm really sorry that human beings have that dark side, but get some support and stand up for what you believe in. You're 22, Camel King? Oh wow, you're just a babe. When I was 22, I didn't know anything, so you're getting a head start. And where do you live, Camel King? Are you in the Mediterranean? Lazy Eye Ranch, I met my neighbor who lives close to me. Most everyone here are growing MMJ. I don't know, medical marijuana maybe? This guy seems nice and he's got a legal permit to grow 100 plants. He's offered to help me clean chunk off the property. Well, there you have it. You can't beat good neighbors. 2/3 of the way through, 1241. Wouldn't mind having a few more donations. Thank you for being here. It's August 4th, 2019, in the great state of Oregon, the great city of Portland. 94 degrees. My pepper plants are loving it. My tomato plants are loving it. And here's to the summer. Been thinking about cutting meat out of my diet for my mental health. Thoughts on this, Brandon Tempest? Well, 2 weeks ago, I did a video called Anti-Inflammatory Diet for Depression, and I've read and I believe that too much things like meat and dairy products and sugar can cause inflammation, and inflammation is being linked to depression. So I think cutting back on meat is a good thing, and I think it may or may not help your mental health, but it's certainly not going to hurt it. Unless you're not getting enough protein, that is. But there's tempeh, and there's, tofu, and there's, edamame snacks, and lentils have a lot of protein. So there's other ways to get protein. Even fish, if you eat fish. Deborah 7269. I've had a rejection issues from the past and attachment problems in relationships. Hey, join the club, baby. I was just talking to my assistant, and I had to get on live chat, and I said, in the immortal words of the women who've rejected me, I'll let you go. She thought that was funny. Anyway, yes, attachment problems, rejection, join the club. I hope to find someone who understands me one day. I had depression since I was 11. I'm 50. Well, Deborah, I'm sure you will. You sound like a wonderful human being, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who will accept you and love you the way you are. I'm holding that for you. All right. I just saw a call from Angie, which I missed. Sunny England. Wow. And there was some response. I just lost it. Is there any serious truth to the middle child suffering emotional consequences from being ignored? I don't know. There's a lot of myth about that. There you are, Angie. LOL. I've done all these things. Maybe I'll just have to buy something. I'm not quite sure what that comment was for. MD Nixon says antipsychotic medications to harm your health in the long term, but there's no such effect for antidepressants, at least not discovered yet. So I think it's a good trade-off. Well, that's what a lot of research says. You're the son of a Arab and a German, and you're also Muslim. Boy, how cool. I believe in hybrids, don't you? They're stronger than regular plants. Any wisdom to help me through these difficult days, please? Yeah, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Anybody going through a hard time? Here's what you tell yourself. This too shall. All right. Any tips for choosing a therapist? Yeah. Look at their profile on Psychology Today. Ask if they have any referrals, any references. Maybe you can talk to someone who's seen this person. The other thing is just show up and just trust your intuition whether this person is a good fit for you. It's the chemistry between the therapist and the client, more than the therapist's orientation or the techniques they use, that really determines the success of the therapy. So, just show up and see how you feel, or try to get some references. Deborah, this too shall pass. Simsums and Chomchoms are both having struggles with their girlfriends, I see. Thank you for being such a gentle. If you're in England, I would do anything for the English. I live there. I love it. All right. Rosie Bangles, thanks for talking, everyone. I didn't mean it. Melancholic in all my years, I've learned hate is not everywhere, and that gave me hope. You're absolutely right. If you come into my neighborhood, there's a lot of loving people here. All right. Simsongs and Chomchoms are going to exchange emails and be of support to each other. Absolutely, it's wonderful you're doing that. Anyone here try Kratom? One of my clients did nothing. It sounds like you're in that ballpark. More soup. It takes a lot of energy talking to you guys. Went on a long bike ride yesterday. Feeling kind of tired. It's uplifting to have got a mention. Well, sure. We'll mention you anytime, Deborah. Insomnia remedy? I play music before I go to sleep. Relaxing music. That helps tremendously. Well, Lazy Eye Ranch is offering some consolation to Rosie Bangle. I know. But again, there's love in the world. I believe that love is a stronger force than hate. Let me say that again. I believe that love is a stronger force than hate. Let me say that a third time. I believe that love is a stronger force than hate. As a matter of fact, I think love is the most powerful force in the universe. And as they say in the beginning words of the Gospel of John, the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. You want to get rid of darkness? Turn the light switch on. You know, it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. That's what the Chinese proverb says. Absolutely. There's a lot of hatred out there. There's a lot of misinformation. But if you can just be a loving person, And, send love to your neighbors and the people around you and do good things. You're doing in your own way a lot to conquering hatred. MD Nixon says this too shall pass was used by his therapist and they helped her. It's a real bomb because, nothing in the universe is permanent. Nothing. You are not the same person you were 5 or 10 years ago. My street is not the same place. People moved. People have moved in, moved out. Things are always changing. That's it. That's what happens here on the earth plane. So whatever state you're in, if it's a lot of misery, just remember it's not forever. All right. Shelley Knight said something that Jason Clulo liked, and I'll have to look it up. There are 53 people on this discussion. Hard to keep track of everybody. Windmills standing in a field. One asked the other, what type of music do you like? He said, I'm a big metal fan. Oh, now I get it. I'm a big metal fan. You could have said I'm a heavy metal fan. That would have been just as good. Nice. I'm going to copy that because I love the pun on the word fan. Very nice. I'm going to use that in my groups. I like the first one. Need an arc? Know a guy. Boy, do I like puns. Shakespeare liked them too, although he called them the lowest form of humor. If you want to know who can resolve all your problems, look in the mirror. Well, that's good, but not just yourself, Jason. We need other people. Any tips for shortness of breath? Well, damn, go see your doctor. That could indicate heart problems. It could indicate asthma, but go get it checked out by a good internist. Bobby Wilson, I wonder if there's been any research on the effect of just getting out to a museum, coffee house. Yes, of course. It's called distraction. It's called engagement. I wouldn't contrast it with therapy. I'd say do it in addition to therapy. You're taking off for a hike. You're blessing Taco Platter. Before you leave, what part of the country do you live in? I'd like to know. Chet1S, haven't seen you before. Nice to see you. Always nice to see newcomers to the chat. Yeah, 4x4 square breathing, right. There are ways, deep breathing is good for shortness of breath, but you should definitely check out a doctor. If this continues, it could be a symptom of some underlying problem. Hey, look, Lazy Eye Academic is saying to Lazy Eye Ranch, hello. 2 lazy people on this chat. Hey, let's get a couple more donations here. We only have 10 minutes left. I got to pay for my computer. Which is at what? What percent is the computer at? Well, I can't tell. I guess they warn me when we're below a certain amount. Lazy Academic, Doug, thank you for your 99-cent donation, Arcade Cup. I love it. Say hello to the people in Green Bay. Lazy Academic says, I've been diagnosed with autism last week after waiting over a year and a half for an assessment. I'm 32 years old, a female. I'm relieved because it explains why my anxiety and depression occur. Well, good. I'm not quite sure how you treat autism, but I do know that, therapy and behavior changes could probably be helpful. So, Kinky Text. I haven't seen you before, Kinky. Happy Sunday, sir. Do you think rumination is possible in anxiety disorder? Rumination is a form of depression and a form of anxiety, going over and over and over and over and obsessing and obsessing and obsessing. Yeah, that's an anxiety disorder. By the way, when I said over and over, that reminds me of what the Firesign Theater once said, the Department of Redundancy Department. Very, very funny. I always like that pun. Your soothing voice, Doug, would make a warm vocal story being read. Thank you, Deborah. How does this sound? You're very sleepy. You're very sleepy. Soon you will shut your eyes and you will go into a deep, relaxing sleep. How's that for a hypnosis tape? Tom Toms, Simpsons is the dude from the depression memes, the dude smiling with a rope around his neck. Oh yeah, I saw that picture once. Not okay. Matter of fact, I took that person and just put him in timeout. Florida Earl, $10. Thank you for your service. Well, definitely I'll send you that book now. Of course I was going to. And that, of course, is that your real name, the Flower of Gold, or is that your YouTube name? Anyway, it's a beautiful name, and thank you for your donation. Anything I can do for you, my flower, or, any question I can answer right now, you go to the head of the class. The super strain. Oh, thank you, Jason. You're going to sleep. Well, I guess it worked. Never thought therapy would be this difficult, although I feel a lot worse at the moment than ever. I know it will eventually get better. Just don't ever give up, even though you might feel like it. Super strain. Yes, super strain. Yes, super strain. Yes, yes, yes. Never give up, says the Dalai Lama. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Never are we nearer the light than when the darkest is deepest. Swami Vivekananda, you must believe that. Just when things look like they're never getting any better, bing, a miracle happens. I'm gonna write that down. Never are we nearer the light. Don't want to go that way, John, Douglas, whoever you are. Never, well, let's uncaplop this. Never, I want you to write this down, everybody. It's a great quote. Light. Okay, write that down, or as my gym teacher used to say, listen up. It's a very important quote. Never are we nearer the light than when the darkest is deepest. So, remember that. Never give up, never give up, never give up. All right. This has been a real lifeline this evening. Thank you, Doug. Well, you must be in England because it's evening there and in the middle of the day here. Discovery consists in seeing what everybody else has seen, but thinking what no one else has thought. Deborah, that's a beautiful quote. Camel King, I went through rumination for years. Sometimes still do, but I can handle it. My mind is a mess. It'll clear up. You're only 22. I always get nervous before I see my therapist, so I get anxiety about working on my anxiety. Well, that's a paradox, isn't it? LMAO, what were you laughing at, Floor? You still haven't told me where you live. This has been a real lifeline. Yes, thank you, thank you. To find one's hand being held in the dark, beautiful. Ever thought about recording an audiobook? Yes, I have. I'm so busy. I have to have someone pay me for it. Although, when I try to read things after about 4 or 5 lines, I stumble. I don't know how people do these books on tape, but their voices they just don't mess up. I don't know how you maintain that conversation. So maybe you could do a short book. Once a time there was a depressed person. He went to see a good therapist. He did CBT, he took a drug, and he exercised, and now he's lived happily ever after. That was a short book, and I didn't mess it up. Okay, thank you. I will record a book. Here's to everybody. V8 spicy hot juice with water. I need a throat lozenge. Somebody here was supposed to send me Fisherman's Friends, and they never did. Oh well. I'll have to get my own. Super Strange says, I learned that from you. Thank you. You actually saved me. Wow. So the Super Strain, what did you learn from me? I've said a lot of dumb things today. Oh, don't ever give up? Yeah. That's what you're referring to. Yeah, did you write that quote down? Never are we nearest the light than when the darkness is deepest. How about this? Enlightenment begins on the other side of despair, Sartre. How about this? In the midst of winter, I found within me an invincible summer, Camus. If you get my book, Healing from Depression, from Amazon, there's a chapter where I list tons of these quotes. It's called Promises of Deliverance. All these wonderful quotations to give you hope when you're really in a dark place. So, Super Strain, I'm glad what I said was helpful. Remember, there's nothing new under the sun. Lazy Eye Ranch, anxiety's been so bad this week. Sorry to hear that. This too shall pass. I'm not joking. If you really plan on recording an audiobook, I will donate $25 to get this started. Well, I will take you up on it, MD Nixon, but wait till I'm ready, okay? I got to finish this this new video I'm working on first. Yeah, Arcade Cup. You have Fisherman's Friends in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Damn. Yeah, definitely send me some. All right. I'm only 21 and I can't enjoy life like I want to because of my anxiety. I keep thinking the worst is going to happen. That's what mental illness does to people. You're 21. You're in the prime of your life. You don't have Alzheimer's. You don't have diabetes. You don't have chronic pain. You don't need a knee replacement. You don't need a brain replacement. And yet, you're not happy. That's what mental illness does to people. So, what do? Well, if this were Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, you take some Soma, it would numb you out, and you wouldn't have a problem in the world. I guess people try to do that with drugs. But guess what? It will not work. We have to go through the desert in order to come out the other side. There is no escape, my friend. You have to go through what Carl Jung calls your legitimate suffering. If you try to escape it into some other form of avoidance, it will only do you more harm than good. So you're 21. Go see a counselor, go see a therapist, learn the tools that we talk about on this channel and other places on the internet, and you can master your anxiety. Crap. I had depression from 18 to 70, and I still do, but I'm better at managing it at 70 than I was at 18. So progress, make a vision statement of wellness, imagine what your life would be like if you were free of anxiety, and it will come to pass with enough work. Anxiety, depression are treatable disorders. I'll say it again. Anxiety and depression are treatable disorders. So, if anyone wants to give me $25 just because they think my jokes are funny, go for it. What a shame this is only once a week. It's thunderstorming something vicious here in north of England. I'm waiting for the lights to go out again. Well, I used to do it twice a week, Rosie, but the Wednesdays were not getting as many people as the Sundays. I'm working on a new book, so maybe one day. Hey, RCB, cheerio, everybody. You must be from Great Britain. I'm by the sea too outside of Sunderland. And where is Sunderland, Lazy Academic? Is that somewhere in the United Kingdom? We need to struggle to grow. Exactly. Well, God. It's nothing new under the sun. People were saying that 1,000 years ago. Audiobook narrators are able to read and read ahead at the same time. Wow, yes. You got to train yourself to do that. That's really, thank you for Angie Law. Is that your real name? I love the name Angie. I love Angela. I love Anne. Anything that begins with an A. I feel paralyzed. I've been diagnosed with depression last year. I'm 29. The guy, $27.99. Whoa. I thought you lived in Canada, but maybe you don't. Anyway, it looks like you're from California. Well, gee, I need to send you like a book in the mail. Thank you so much, and thank you for your affirmation. I really appreciate it. Oh, you're from Oxford. They have a pretty decent school there, don't they? I think most people. What do they have? A 90% acceptance rate at Oxford? Joking. Camel King with the Mediterranean Sea. Anyway, I'm leaving because I've got to prepare for school tomorrow. See you next time. Keep up the good work, Camel King. You're young. Your best years are ahead of you. Remember, everybody here, that your best years are still ahead of you, and I believe that. Amnesia, believe it or not, my anxiety and panic have started when I was 15. I'm 20 now. I did 30, and I'm mostly free of attacks. It's possible. And within 5 years, you're a master. Sunderland is on the northeast coast of England. Damn, I want to go to England. I know so many people from England through this live chat. You guys should set up a lecture tour for me. Yes, Lagai, how generous, right? This is the largest donation I've ever gotten. Although somebody once gave me $800, but it turned out it was in rubies. Indian money, it was only worth about $4.95. But it's the thought that counts. You're from Canada? Then why does it say CA $20, $7.95? Is that Canada? So that must be in Canadian dollars, I'm assuming. Anyway, no, whatever you sent, thank you. Amazing. So I thought CA stood for California, but it must be Canada. You know my joke, how do you get a Canadian to apologize? Step on his foot? I know I've said that. I still think it's hilarious. Hey, it's 1 hour and 42 seconds. I have a coaching client who's going to call me. Dr. Block, I'm depressed. What can I do? And I say, get over it. That's the end of the coaching session. No, I don't do that. That'd be horrible. Besides, you can't get over it. It's a lifelong condition to be managed. All right. Liz Life Good. The only way to cure depression is through perseverance, exercise, research, and reading, and finding a support system. Just keep moving. Or, as Winston Churchill said, when going through hell, keep going. By the way, send me email. Lagai, I know we've chatted before. I'd love to send you one of my books. But anyway, do I drink alcohol at all? Yes. When I have a Mexican meal, I like to have a beer. They have wonderful, I like something called IPA. Ale here in Portland, maybe once or twice a month. But no, I'm not a drinker on a regular basis. That is, of course, I know people who drink like half a bottle of wine a night, but I don't have the body to handle it. Also, I think that's a bit much, but for me, moderation and everything except moderation. That's what the Greeks said. All right. So, is Andy from the UK? I don't know. I am. Can't you tell my English accent? Bloke. Cheerio, bloke. So, I'm from New York City. 17 years sober. Yes, go for it, Liz Life. Nice to see it. Finally, I'll stop with the words of Anthony Olson. Seek therapy. It helps. I do suffer from anxiety and constantly fear the worst in life is going to happen to me. Medications could help some. Yes, yes, yes. You're a lank but a lifelong Anglophile. Yeah, I am too. My dad likes IPA. It's good stuff. Well, bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you for being here for an hour. Stay tuned next Sunday, which is going to be the 11th of August, for another wonderful live chat with DGB, standing for Douglas George Block. Remember, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond to it. The last of the human freedoms that Viktor Frankl learned in the concentration camp. And guess what? All of us who suffer from severe depression are in our own concentration camps, but the concentration camp resides in the brain. That's really cruel, isn't it? But there are ways out, and that's what I'm spending my life. I'm dedicating the rest of my life until my last breath. I'm dedicating to learning how to heal depression and to sharing everything I know with you guys. So take care. God bless. Until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery.